roads and wagon wheels, before the iron rail. The mountains breathed in morning mist, the rivers told their tale. No church bell crossed the valley air, no marching drum was heard, only wind through ancient pine and flight of silent birds. Beside the streams, firelight in the night, children running barefoot free beneath the moon so bright. The elders spoke of changing skies, of seasons yet unknown, but no one heard the distant tide that sailed from lands of stone. Before the fort, before the crown, before the maps drew borders down, these hills already knew a name. These rivers carried a living flame. Before the flags and fallen smoke, before the promises were broke, the mountains stood like they stand still, watching over Burke County hills. Deerskin trails through forest deep, footprints worn by years. Songs were carried river wide long before our fears. Morning rose through cedar trees, soft upon the land. No sword had touched the mountain soil, no blood upon the sand. Somewhere far beyond the sea, wooden ships cut through the dark, and history moved toward the hills like thunder before it sparked. The old world dreamed of gold and kings, the mountains dreamed of rain. Neither knew their meeting point would never be the same. Before the fort, before the crown, before the maps drew borders down, these hills already knew a name. These rivers carried a living flame. Before the smoke of foreign fires, before ambition climbed higher, the mountains stood like they stand still, silent above the Burke County hills. And if you listen when dusk grows cold, where the Catawba softly flows, you may still hear the first heartbeat of a world nobody wrote. Smoke rose slow through cedar air, morning touched the hill. River stones and ancient trails lay silent, deep and still. Children left by flowing streams, fires danced at night. Jorah stood beneath the stars before the world would fight. had known. The elders watched the changing wind, the hunters read the sky. The earth was not a thing to own. It breathed, it lived, it cried. Shore up, heartbeat of the hills, older than the roads we know, older than the mills. Shore up, fire beneath the pine. The mountains keep your memory buried deep in time. Silvered catawba, drums rolled through the dark. Voices rose like a river mist and echoed through the sparks. No wall stood against the world, no iron crossed the land. Only earth beneath bare feet and trust in open hands. But beyond the edge of water, unknown shadows moved. Wooden sails and foreign tongues, crosses carved and proved. History was climbing west without a single sound, and destiny was drifting near to sacred mountain ground. Oh, shore up, heartbeat of the hills, long before the fort arrived, long before the kills. Shore up, spirit in the storm. Though the fires faded out, the mountains still remember. Oh, oh, na, 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 through the valleys at the breaking of the dawn. Some say Jorah's ancient fire still quietly burns on. They came from waters no mountain had seen, past storms and restless tide, carrying crosses, iron and dreams with fire inside their eyes. North through the valleys, west through the rain, beyond the edge of known, chasing the gold of distant lands toward forests still untouched. The mountains watched in silence deep Marching men with flags and steel try to come and wild things, but destiny is not a road one empire walks alone. For every step into the hills awoke a future unknown. The Spanish came north, past rivers, cold and wide, into the heart of ancient lands, where memory still survives. The Spanish came north with fearless hearts and pride, but the mountains kept their secrets buried deep inside. Now the wind through Burke County pines still carries distant sound of boots, drums, prayers, and restless streams. When the Spanish came north, climbed high through mountain rain, fire burned the night. Wood and stone came crashing down beneath the red moonlight.
The fort that stood with iron pride now trembled in the flame,
and every soul upon that hill would never be the same.
the rivers carried whispers south, the forest held their breath. Two worlds collided in the dark between survival and death.
Jorah watched the fire glow against the mountain sky,
Not with hatred in their hearts,
but a will to stay alive. Ashes of forts and walls,
blown across the hills,
empires rise and kingdoms fall,
but the mountains remain still.
ashes of forts and walls.
History carved in flame,
Yet from the smoke and shattered ground, new stories still were made.
some came chasing crowns and gold, some followed faith alone.
Some were only weary men,
So very far from home,
and though the fort was lost to fire,
its memory still survives.
for every dream that disappears
Leaves truth behind in time.
The mountains do not choose our wars, the rivers do not hate.
But every generation learns the cost of fear and fate.
Still
dawn returned again,
beyond the smoke and pain,
and life rose softly through the hills,
like sunlight after rain.
ashes of forts and won,
Scattered in the wind,
no victory lasts forever,
no silence truly ends.
ashes of forts and won,
Beneath the blue-red sky,
the people endured, the land survived,
and hope refused to die.
Now when evening shadows fall,
Across Burke County pines,
the mountains still remember the fire and the lies.
Morning broke through mountain fog, cold upon the stream. Wagon wheels and weary souls still chasing distant dreams. Mothers held their children close, fathers scanned the sky. Every mile beyond the river meant another chance to rise. The Catawba rolled beneath like history, moving west, carrying hope and fear alike inside every chest. Some had lost the world behind, some searched for something new, but all across those waters knew the mountains pulled them through. Crossing the Catawba toward the setting sun, leaving dust and broken roads for a future yet undone. Crossing the Catawba with courage in their hands, building lives beneath the shadow of the Blue Ridge land. Flickered through the night, songs rose soft and low, stories passed from heart to heart beside the river flow. No one knew what waited there beyond the winding trail, but hope can make a fragile soul strong enough to prevail. Stood like guardians, watching from above, silent over every fear, every prayer, every love. The river did not promise peace, the road was rough and long, but the human spirit kept moving west like an golden inside their eyes. Crossing the Catawba, where river meets the hills, the journey shaped the people, and the mountains shape them still. Now the waters still run onward, past stone and memory, and every current whispers low, keep moving, keep believing.
Cabins rose beside the hills, smoke climbed through the dawn. Axes rang through forest pine as the frontier carried on. Roads were carved through mud and stone, hands were rough and worn, but every nail and every beam built a town being born. Soldier brave and strong, a name to carry through the years where mountain hearts belong. Farmers, blacksmiths, traders too, gathered by the square, with hope as strong as a river steel and freedom in the air. Morganstown, beneath the blue ridge sky, built by hands that would not break, by souls that would not hide. Morganstown, where the frontier spirit grows, from the Catawba to the hills, the fire still glows. Children ran on dusty roads, church bells filled the breeze. Stories passed from porch to porch beneath the cedar trees. No one promised easy days, the winters could be long, but neighbors stood together there and hardship made them strong. The mountains watched another age rise slowly from the ground, and every dream that crossed the river left echoes in the town. Though centuries may come and go, though time keeps moving on, the spirit of those early days still lingers in Morgantown. Morgantown, where courage built a home. Through wilderness and changing years, the roots have only grown. Morgantown, still standing proud and tall, a frontier heart beneath the hills that never truly falls. And when the evening sun burns gold across Burke County skies, you can still feel Morgantown alive in every passing light. Dust rose high beneath the wheels, morning on the trail. Families moving toward the hills where hope refused to fail. Horses pulled through mud and stone, rain and mountain wind. Every mile another test, the strength held deep within. The wagon road stretched westward far, beyond what eyes could see. Through forest dark and river bends, toward possibility. Some had left their past behind, some carried wounds unseen. But every heart still held a fire for places never dreamed. Wagon road west, keep rolling through the rain, carry every dream we had across the wild terrain. Wagon road west, through mountain shadow and sky. The road is hard, the climb is long, but still we rise. Children slept beside the fire, old songs filled the night. Stars hung over Burke County hills like lanterns burning bright. Hands were tired, boots were worn, supplies were running low, but courage grew with every dawn along the wagon road. And the mountains stood before them like giants made of stone, not to stop the travelers, but to test what they call home. For freedom is not given, and destiny is earned. Every cross and every hardship became a lesson learned. Wagon road west, rolling toward the unknown, building futures from the dust with faith alone. Wagon road west, where river meets the pine, the road shaped generations and still runs through time. Now when sunset paints the ridges, gold beyond the trees, you can almost hear the wagons moving with the breeze. Westward. Westward.
Cabin fires and mountain prayers carried through the time. Sunlight touched the river bends, gold across the land. Simple lives with withered hearts, built by working hands. Mother sang on wooden porches, children chased the breeze. Old men spoke of changing days beneath the cedar trees. Some had little, some had scars, some still carried pain. But the mountains taught them how to stand through wind and rain. Blue Ridge smoke drifting through the hills, like memories the heart still holds when the world grows still. Blue Ridge smoke, floating slow and free, a mountain soul that never fades, a living memory. Echoed far across the Burke County night. Mill lights burn beyond the fog like stars against the sky. Neighbors gather close together when winter winds would blow, and every hardship shared in love made stronger roots below. The mountains have seen sorrow, smoke rising through the Blue Ridge still whispers every name. Blue Ridge smoke carried by the dawn, through every age and changing world, the spirit lingers on. Blue Ridge smoke above the river wide, the heart of Morganton still burns beneath the mountain sky. And when evening settles softly on the hills of Burke once more, you can see the Blue Ridge smoke drifting like the stories before. County fields, spring turned cold that year. Hoofbeats thunder down the roads and carry dust and fear. Windows closed and lanterns dim, whispers fill the night as blue-coated riders cross the hills beneath the fading light. Snowmen came riding through the valleys, steel beneath the rain. Bridges burned and horses screamed across the mountain plain. Families watched from cabin doors as history passed by, not knowing what would still remain when morning reached the sky. Stoneman came riding through pine, smoke, and stone. The war was near its ending, but no one felt at home. Stoneman came riding like thunder through the land, and every soul in Burke County felt history's heavy hand. Some prayed for peace to finally come, some prayed to survive, some only hoped the ones they loved would still be left alive. The mountains stood above it all, silent, dark, and old, watching one divided nation break beneath its soul. No victory erased the sorrow, no flag could stop the pain, for war leaves scars on every side long after cannons fade. Yet somewhere through the smoke and ash, a stubborn hope remained, because the land still held the people, and life would rise again. Stoneman came riding, but he could not claim the hills.
lying black above the river, ashes filled the sky. The bridge stood trembling through the flames as soldiers thundered by. Mothers held their children close, church bells rang in fear. The sound of war rolled through the hills like the end was drawing near. Timbers cracked beneath the heat, fire danced in the wind. One side prayed the bridge would stand, one prayed it would end. The Catawba kept flowing south beneath the burning glow. As history crossed that fragile line, no soul could truly know. Bridge of smoke and fire, burning through the night, caught between divided hearts and the thunder of the fight. Bridge of smoke and fire, where fear and courage meet. The flames may scar the riverbanks, but not the human spirit. Some came riding dressed in blue, some stood dressed in gray, but every mother watching there prayed the killing stop that day. The mountains heard the cannons roar, echoing through stone, reminding every passing soul no war leaves anyone alone. Still the dawn returned again beyond the smoke and pain, and people gathered by the river to rebuild what remained. For bridges are more than wood and steel, more than roads through time. They carry hope from one generation to the next surviving line. Bridge of smoke and fire, standing through the storm. Though the flames tried to divide the land, the people carried on. Bridge of smoke and fire, reflected in the stream. History may burn the pages, but it cannot burn the dream. Grows through the valley and evening shadows rise, some still see the burning bridge against the Burke County sky, glowing. The candle burned beside the bed, rain tapped on the pane. A soldier sat with trembling hands, trying to explain. Outside the war kept moving south, the smoke still stained the sky. but all he saw was home again when he closed his tired eyes. He wrote about the mountain wind, the river near the mill, his mother's voice at supper time, the quiet Burke County hills. He wrote about the porch at dusk, the dog beside the door, and how the things we leave behind can mean the world in war. The last letter home carried through the night, across the fear, across the fire, toward a fading light. The last letter home, written soft and slow, a wounded heart still reaching back to the only place it knows. He did not write about the screams, the blood, the burning rain. He did not write how every soul was slowly changed by pain. Instead, he spoke of better days, of peace beyond the storm. 'Cause sometimes hope is all a man can carry through the war. And somewhere far in Morgantown, a mother knelt to pray, holding tightly to the words that crossed the miles away. The mountains stood above them both, silent through the years, watching love survive the distance and the weight of fear. The last letter home, folded, worn and thin, still carried all the strength he had left somewhere deep within. The last letter home, before the cannon ceased, a reminder every broken heart still searches after peace. Now when evening settles softly on the Blue Ridge after rain, some still hear old paper rustling, whispering names back home.
sun could rise. Boots hit gravel, tired hands still carried fire inside. Brick mill walls beside the stream, windows glowing gold. Another day for working hearts, braver than they know. Mothers packed the dinner pails, children waved goodbye. Smoke climbed slowly through the hills beneath the blue-ridge sky. No one promised easy roads, no riches waited there, but people built their lives with pride and love beyond despair. Milltown morning, hear the river sing. Through every hardship, life goes on, and hope keeps awakening. Milltown morning, where strong hearts belong. The wheels may turn, the years may pass, but the spirit stays strong. Threads and timber, sweat and steel fill the passing years. Neighbors carried one another through the dust and tears. Porch lights glowed on narrow streets, old songs filled the air, and every family fighting on found strength in being there. The mountains watched the factory smoke rise slowly toward the dawn, like proof that ordinary souls can still keep moving on. For greatness is not always found in names history recalls. Sometimes it lives in quiet lives behind old brick mill walls. Milltown morning, still echoing today, in every worn and weathered hand that helped to pave the way. Milltown morning, beneath the mountain lights, a town was built by working souls who never gave up the fight. And when the sunrise hits the river, soft through Burke County rain, you can still hear the mill whistle calling out their names again. Again.
wheels turn beside the water, keeping steady time. Brick walls standing in the valley, windows glowing gold. Henry River held the lives of hard-working mountain souls. Children ran through dusty streets, barefoot in the rain. Mothers sang on front porches to ease the weight of pain. The whistle called before the dawn, the river answered slow, and every hand that built the town left part of their soul below. Henry River, still flowing through the years, carrying dreams and memories beyond the dust and tears. Henry River, where courage learned to stay, though time may take the mills away, the spirit will remain. Some left searching for tomorrow, some stayed through decline. Factories faded into silence like echoes lost in time. Yet the mountains never forgot the lives that passed below, because every empty window still holds the fire once known. And when the night grows quiet, you can almost hear the sound of laughter drifting through the valley from a long-gone mill town crowd. For places are not only buildings nor roads of brick and stone, they become the hearts of people who once called them home. Henry River, beneath the blue ridge sky, the years may weather every wall, but not the human pride. Henry River, still shining after rain, a reminder even broken towns can rise in song again. Now the river keeps on moving past the shadows of the mill, and somewhere in the mountain wind, Henry River lies still, 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 still.
Morning broke beside the tracks, fog rolled through the pine, steel wheels sang across the hills, right on time. Children waved from wooden fences, hats raised in the breeze, as a whistle cut through Burke County, like a living melody. Coal smoke drifting through the valley, engines roaring strong, carrying timber, dreams, and people further on and on. Every station held a story, every mile a name. The railroad stitched the mountain towns like threads through time and flame. Whistle through Burke County, echo through the hills, rolling like the restless spirit the mountains carry still. Whistle through Burke County, across the rivers wide, a song, hope, and movement riding on the line. Mill workers, farmers, travelers, soldiers heading home, all heard the same steel heartbeat wherever they would roam. The tracks became a lifeline, scattered mountain towns together, hand in hand. And though the years keep changing and old depots fade away, the sound still lives inside the wind at the breaking of the day. Because some echoes never vanish, some roads never end. They ride beside the rivers and return again and again. Whistle through Burke County, calling through the rain, carrying memory and tomorrow on every passing train. Whistle through Burke County, beneath the Blue Ridge sky. The steel may rust, the smoke may fade, but the spirit never dies. Now when evening settles softly and mountain shadows fall, you can still hear the whistle somewhere, calling through Burke County. the dawn. Hands like leatherbacks bent hard, still somehow carrying on. Fields stretched wide beside the hills, under Carolina skies. Every scar and every callus held a dream inside. They built the fences, laid the stone, worked the timberland, raised their children through the storms with red clay on their hands. No headlines told their stories, no statues bore their names, but every bridge in Milltown Road still carries what they made. Red clay hands, strong enough to stay, holding hope through drought and flood and every harder day. Red clay hands, weathered by the years, still lifting up tomorrow through the sweat and tears. Oh, some worked deep inside the mill, some farmed the rocky ground, some stood beside the railroad tracks when the whistle thundered down. The mountains watched them labor from sunrise into night, and every humble working soul helped keep the valley alive. History remembers generals, kings and flags and wars, but town survived because of hands that opened unseen doors. For strength is not in glory, no wealth that fades away. It lives inside the people who keep standing anyway. Red clay hands, still shaping Burke County, from the river to the ridges, their spirit echoes proudly. Red clay hands, beneath the mountain rain. The years may change the world around, but their roots remain. And when sunset burns like fire across the Blue Ridge land, you can almost feel the heartbeat of those red clay hands, still building. Still building.
Morning light through classroom windows, hands begin to speak. Silent worlds and quiet dreams, growing strong and deep. Footsteps echo down the halls beneath the mountain rain. Children learning how to rise beyond the fear and pain. Some were told the world was distant, too loud to understand, but they carried oceans in their hearts and fire within their hands. Eyes that listen more than words, souls that learn to see. is not emptiness, it's another way to breathe. Children of silence, voices without sound, teaching hearts to truly listen where deeper truths are found. Children of silence, beneath the blue ridge sky, the world may speak in many ways, and every soul can shine. Teacher stood beside them gently, guiding every step, building bridges through compassion where hope and courage met. And every hand that shaped a sentence, every smile that said belong, turned quiet rooms in Morganton into places strong. The mountains know that silence can carry strength and grace, for not all songs are sung aloud, some are felt in sacred space. And every child who walked those halls left light along the way, a reminder human dignity needs no voice to stay. Children of silence, still echoing through time, teaching generations how to see with heart and mind. Children of silence, the mountains hold your name, for the quietest souls among us can leave the brightest flame. Settles softly across Burke County skies, some still see those hands in motion like birds, learning how to fly.
High above the quiet valley, beyond the river bend, stood a place where weary souls came searching for the end, or maybe for beginning. Windows watch the changing years, storms and autumn rain, holding stories never spoken, and hearts marked deep by pain. Some were broken by the world,
Some carried wounds no eyes could see. No matter how they tried, doctors walked the shadowed halls, nurses held the night, trying to bring lost souls back home towards some small piece of light. The hill of Broughton, silent through the years, holding all the forgotten voices, all the hidden tears. The hill of Broughton, beneath the mountain sky, a reminder every human soul still deserves a chance to rise. The mountains never judged them, the river never turned away, the dawn still touched those windows at the breaking of each day. And somewhere in the quiet halls, hope kept breathing slow, because even shattered hearts still search for somewhere warm to go. History often hides the suffering behind old brick and stone, but pain is part of being human. No one walks alone, and compassion is not weakness, nor kindness something small. Sometimes the strongest thing a heart can do is answer another's call. The hill of Broughton, still echoing tonight, teaching us the wounded spirit needs mercy more than fright. The hill of Broughton, where shadows meet the dawn, the mountains keep reminding us human dignity lives on. Now when evening settles softly across Burke County rain, the lights upon the hill still glow, not as ghosts, but as remembrance.
cedar trees. Moonlight touch the stone. Some say the hills remember names. The world is long outgrown. Old roads winding through the valley, silent after dark, carrying footsteps no one sees, but still can feel at heart. Empty porches, shuttered windows, whispers in the rain, echoes drifting through the foothills, like unfinished prayers remain. Milltown sleeping by the river, church bells lost in time, every shadow holds a story, buried deep inside. Oh, ghosts in the foothills, riding through the pine, not here to haunt the living, but to remind us we survive. Ghosts in the foothills, beneath the mountain sky, every generation leaves a flame that never truly dies. Some were soldiers, some were workers, some were children full of dreams, some were voices, history buried between the rivers and the trees. But the mountains keep their memory far beyond our years, holding all the love and sorrow that once lived here. And maybe ghosts are not just spirits walking through the night. Maybe they are human stories still searching for the light, the laughter, fear, and sacrifice, the hopes we leave behind, all become the living echoes carried forward through time. Ghosts in the foothills, soft as mountain rain. The roads may fade, the towns may change, but memory remains. Ghosts in the foothills, still moving with the wind, a reminder no life disappears when love remembers them. Now when midnight settles softly across Burke County pines, some still hear the foothills breathing like ghosts alive in time. dancing on the water, silver on the waves, mountains standing all around like guardians of the lake. Night wind moving through the pine, stars above the shore, Lake James holding quiet stories of the ones who came before. Campfires glowing in the distance, laughter through the dark, boats drifting slow beneath the moon, like memories in the heart. Some came searching for peace and rest, some came carrying pain, but the water softly taught them all how to breathe again. Moon over Lake James, shining through the night, turning fear into reflection and sorrow into light. Moon over Lake James, beneath the blue ridge sky, the mountains and the water teach the soul how to survive. Morning fog across the shoreline, eagles in the air, sunrise breaking through the valley, like hope returning there. Time moves slow beside the water, old wounds lose their weight, because some places heal the heart without a word to say. And the mountains keep their silence, not because they do not care, but because some truths are deeper than language can declare. The moon, the lake, the endless sky, the river running free, all remind us we are small, yet still part of eternity. Moon over Lake James, still glowing after rain, holding all the dreams and memories that the foothills contain. Moon over Lake James, forever calm and bright, a quiet song of Burke County carried through the night. Now when midnight settles gently,
across the mountain pines. The moon still touches Lake James waters like heaven meeting time. Morning rises through the valleys, mist above the pine. Rivers carry ancient echoes far beyond our time. Footsteps fade along old roads, names wear down like stone. But every life that crossed these hills still somehow lingers on. Burn beneath the stars. Watch the Spanish journey north, and the rise and fall of wars. They heard the railroad whistles, the mill town songs at dawn, the prayers of weary families still trying to carry on. The mountains still remember every dream and every scar, every soul that walked these valleys, no matter who they are. The mountains still remember beneath the blue ridge sky, the people rise and people fall, but the human spirit survives. They remember children learning to speak without a sound, the workers with red clay hands who built these mountain towns. They remember tears beside the rivers, letters sent through war, and quiet nights on Lake James waters, healing wounded hearts once more. Time keeps moving like the cat over, never standing still, yet something deeper stays alive inside these ancient hills. Not glory, wealth, nor power alone, nor names history may praise, but courage, kindness, sacrifice, and ordinary days. The mountains still remember the lost, the love, the brave, the songs that rose through Burke County and echoed through the age. The mountains still remember, though generations fade, because no honest human life is ever truly erased. across the western sky. The mountains stand in silence, still watching, still listening, still